Hi there, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Casting Notes from Rose and Kim. That's Kim Swanson. She's a casting director in Los Angeles. I'm Rose Rosen, a casting director in Florida. How are you, Kim?
I'm great, Rose. How are you doing, my dear?
Good, thanks. Nice to see you. What's been going on?
Staying busy, working, got some projects going, which is a good thing to have. But I had something interesting I was working on this week. I was working on a development project um, involving karate and a little bit of stunts. And I think we have the perfect guest lined up this week to chat about that.
This is a great thing. I think.
Yeah.
I think we have Todd
Gilliard.
Gillinardo. I think I
Hey,
said it right again.
Hello,
Good to see
Camille.
you.
thanks for joining us.
Hello.
us.
So Todd and I have been friends. We were chatting earlier for probably over 20 years at this
Oh my
point.
goodness.
And he's just an amazing talent. He's a talented actor, but also an incredibly talented stuntman who works constantly in stunts. So Todd, I would love if you would please kind of give our viewers a little bit of background on how you got started in stunts, which I know, but it's a great story, and how it morphed and what you're doing now.
Well, I moved out to St. Louis to get my master's of the fine arts in acting. And in the off season, Six Flags used to be owned by Warner Brothers. And I saw they were casting for stunt shows. So I went out for it. Then I had combat rapier in college, which is a form of swordplay, the SAFD curriculum. So they were looking for that. And so I showed up and auditioned. And they cast me as the sheriff of Nottingham in the Robin Hood Stunt Show. And I ended up doing 5 seasons of stunt shows, made a lot of stunt connections. My stunt coordinator went back to Chicago, called me up one day, a couple years after that, and said, "You want to get your SAG card doing stunts in movies?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So we did Dark Knight, did stunts in Man of Steel, Contagion, currently working on Chicago Fire, Med, and PD on NBC. But it's been really good. I live in St. Louis and just drive up. It's kind of nice, kind of a good gig.
No, that's wonderful. So do you think that obviously you're an actor first or second or whatever, and a stuntman, what do you think that enhances your career? What do you think about that? I mean, is it a great
Yeah.
gig to add? Tell us about
Yeah. You definitely nowadays, especially you kind of have to be a hybrid if you want to. You have to diversify just to get the phone ringing on a lot of different fronts. The more you can contribute to a film, especially when you're talking indie films, where it might be modified low budget SAG. You want to say yes to it. It's not always going to be Warner Brothers. It's a lot better if he's a stunt actor. We can actually use him for the action shots. He can do all the violence and abuse and blah blah blah. It definitely ties in, and it makes you more marketable. I started out as an actor and fell into stunts. There were some
Boom.
very nice casting people like Kim Swanson over there who took a chance on me, put me in some movies, which thank you very much. As solely,
very much.
but yeah, the more you can diversify, the better. And in this pandemic, while we were down, I decided to start a motorcycle channel on YouTube and TG Moto Rider. And I got my bikes and I filmed different stuff on the motorcycles, tell stories throughout history while I'm on the back of the bike, and things like that, where trying to make it happen for yourself, even if nothing's happening.
That's what we do. We pivot. That's what Kim and I are doing. It's all the same. So what would you say to a young performer or any age performer that wants to get into stunts?
I would say absolutely do it. There are a lot of different. There are great stunt schools in the country. If you want to specialize in driving, there's a couple of driver schools. I don't know if I'm allowed to mention them.
We can put links or whatever you want. Yeah, I think you can.
Drivers East is, I know, a great driving school on the East Coast. There's some in LA as well. They'll teach you stunt driving, J-turn, reverse J-turns, 360s, precision driving, stuff like that. There are motorcycle schools where you can take precision motorcycle stuff, jumping, that kind of stuff. Here's the thing. If you can get the phone ringing from different aspects of your life, the better off you are. I mean,
right.
What
What do you think about the difference between straight acting and a stunt? Because I find myself kind of questioning that sometimes. Obviously, jumping a motorcycle is an obvious thing. But for instance, is shooting a gun a stunt, or can any actor do that? And do you need training or
You definitely need firearms training. It depends. Now, sometimes they won't shoot with, they won't always use, quarter and half load blanks. Sometimes they'll CGI the fire coming out of the barrel.
Right.
They'll actually just shake it like you fired it. That I've been on sets where they've done that. When we were doing Dark Knight, we were using blanks. We were using, I think, half and 3/4 load. In the AKs and in the handguns and stuff. So you actually do get the concussion, and you get the fire from the barrel and that kind of stuff.
That's a problem if you don't know what's coming at you.
You definitely need to know what you're doing, but they're not going to. A good stunt coordinator on a good set, the gun safety protocols, they will be gone over with the actor pretty thoroughly. So you don't have to worry about that. If you're getting squibbed up, now that's a different situation, because they tend to pop, and things like that. Squibs pop, and then you got to do a high fall to get shot or something like that.
What is this squib?
these are terms we are not familiar with, Todd.
Squib
You're going to have to help us.
It pops, boom, you got shot.
It's
There's a little explosion.
backfire. Oh, you mean getting shot?
Yeah,
the blood,
squib
the blood. Yeah, the fake blood.
Yeah, squib belt. They pop right after you get shot. Blood goes everywhere, or they're on the wall behind you, and they go ping, ping, ping. And actors have been hitting the head with the shrapnel from those. So yeah, there are situations where you don't want an actor too close to things.
Do you go over? Are you the guy that goes over, like the guy that's getting squibbed up? Do you sit there and tell him this is what you're going to feel and this is what you need, or is that a different position? Explain to me.
No, the stunt coordinator would go over all of that. You usually get to walk through what's going to happen. Sometimes you don't know precisely what's going to happen until you get on set, and then they're like, hey, here's what I told you on the phone, but here's what we really got to do now. And so now you sort of have to think on the fly, what gear did you bring? Every stuntie's got a giant bag with every form of pad known in it. Hard, soft, some gels, stuff that you're going to put on under your costume. So you want to be ready. That's why you always keep that big bag with you. We always sling them down in the same spot, because you have no clue what they're going to tell you to do, and they'll change it sometimes. So you have to be versatile.
Everybody comes to set with a kit. This is every different department. Every person has their own kit of magic that they pull out of a bag. It's quite phenomenal for those who haven't been on set. It's quite interesting.
Right. Yeah. Now tell me, Todd, if let's say like a 20-year-old comes to you and they say, Todd, I think I want to go into stunts. What are the first 3 things I need to start learning? Is it firearms? Is it horseback riding? Is it motorcycle? I mean, let's imagine it's somebody living like in central Illinois where they don't have access to these great driving schools on the coast or something. And it's just something that they can do in a small town. What would those things be?
Right. Well, if you want to familiarize yourself with firearms, you would want to go to a reputable shooting range with a trained gun instructor that's going to walk you through the firearms. If it's something that you're going to be firing in the movie, like your character has an AR, well, they have AR knockoffs. You can I would take the time to do that, because I don't want to look like I'm fumbling with it. And one thing I've learned being on movie sets, never be the reason. Never be the reason because you didn't do your homework, or because you didn't, and now you're fumbling with the gun, or you weren't paying attention. Never be the reason everything is stopped right now.
Right.
That is the one thing I have learned over almost 30 years of doing this. I don't ever want to be the reason something has stopped or something isn't right.
That's good advice, because time is money.
Time is, it's a lot of people, a lot of money, I mean, everybody is coordinated, and you're right. You never want to be that person. You got to be quick. You got to be on your game and take just the right amount of time for what you're supposed to be doing. Not more.
Yeah. Do your homework. That's for sure. Definitely do your homework.
Now, what would you say to an actor who just might want to know a few things in regards to stunts, or what would be those things that, doesn't want to be a stunt guy, but wants to learn some things to help his career in the stunt world?
Right. You're going to have to know staged combat. You're gonna have to know right cross, left cross, roundhouse punch, chopper kicks. Like you're gonna have to know that kind of
Stop
stuff.
it. Stop. Let's go backwards. Just pretend like we're all kindergartners and
Right.
for our
Yeah.
viewers what
Yeah.
stage
Right.
combat is, because it's something that people hear a lot of and maybe they
Right.
don't know what that is. So please tell us, Todd. It's so interesting.
Sure. Stage combat is a way of executing punches and kicks, telling a violent story with specificity and nuance, hopefully, without actually hurting the other actor that you're working with. Now, I will say this: there are times where, see, I should sort of rectify, clarify this a little bit. If you're doing stage combat as an actor and you are striking another actor, sometimes the other actor is going to say, "Go ahead, really slap me." Okay, this is where we have to walk this fine line. It's better to not, because you can cheat the camera angle and all that. You can have air. You don't have to hit the other person. Now, when you have two stunt people fighting, totally different creature. That's going to be a little different. That's going to be a little more in your face. It's going to be a lot more physical, and that's why we pad up. So when you're seeing these group melees where you see a lot of people fighting, most of those are probably stunt people. So they get knocked around and doing hard takedowns. Tomonaga doing hard back falls, Tomonaga break
But they have
falls.
padding that they're falling onto.
Or you're wearing a
The
spine.
actor not knowing what's going to happen next.
Right.
He's like, oh, just hit me. He wants to feel it, but he doesn't realize that's not what he should be looking for. He needs to look for the
Right.
proper angle to fake it.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, you
So
don't want to punch people in the face. That's not a good idea.
Good to
Don't
know.
punch in the face if you can
No.
get.
I mean, I could imagine two actors going at it and absolutely saying, just hit me. It's going to be fun. You
They
know
do
what I
it.
mean?
They
Like,
do it. Don't
and
wanna go down
they
that-
trust that each other knows what they're doing,
right.
but unless they know, they don't know. And
Right.
unless you're a stunt guy, you shouldn't be doing that. So I think that's solid advice.
So I'd say stage combat's a great place to start. Martial arts is a great place to start. And the more you can build your working Rolodex in your head of move execution and how you can do it, with some degree of acuity and speed, the better off you are. I mean, if you look great flipping around a katana sword and you put that in part of your video demo, people are gonna be like, oh yeah, you know what? We can use them for this martial arts thing. We can use, so you want to, as much acuity as you can gain and as many weapons as you can. That's what I would recommend, even if you're not going to go into stunts. Get to know weapons, because so much action stuff. I mean, everything's action oriented. You definitely need that for sure. You don't want to be the one going, oh, I have no clue how to do this. Even if it's a pull stick in the bar, in a bar, the pull cue fight, that's classic. It comes up all the time. Stuff like that.
You have to know what you're doing. No question. Is there a certification that they come with?
Some
I
schools
know I
do.
ask crazy questions. Yeah.
No, that's not a crazy question. Yeah, some schools do have certifications. I don't know if I'm allowed to say a lot of their names, but there are some schools that do have certifications. But there are also a lot of things that you're going to learn as you're going. Like, we teach each other stuff all the time. I learn from them all the time up there. I'm like always trying to learn something new from them. Every time I go up, I try to learn something I didn't know before, and then push myself, just a little bit.
Can we say, as people hiring you people, that we, as always, want you guys to be as truthful as possible when you explain to us your skills?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you don't lie about it.
You cannot lie. These are
Lie.
dangerous things. And it's good to be, Todd, you're with a group of stunt people, right? So we usually go to groups like that to hire stunt people. Let me also tell you that.
Yeah.
So we know that we're not just an
Right.
actor that thinks he can take a fall and put a pad on.
Getting actual pros.
The horse, the horse thing. So many actors say, well, I rode a horse when I was 8. Yeah, you did a trail ride, but in the script, you're firing a gun at a full gallop. That with one, so you have one hand on the reins. That is not. And if you do get cast and you lied, you're gonna get to that scene, and what exactly are you gonna do?
It's gonna be a mess.
Yeah,
It's gonna be an
we've
absolute
seen it.
mess.
Yeah.
So you don't want to lie. That absolutely true. Absolutely true. Yeah, we actually had somebody lie about high fall skills. This was in '95. Said that they knew how to do headers, which is a header is when you let me see if I can still the camera. You sort of fall off head first, tuck at the last minute, legs go over your head and you land on your back facing up. You know, you do a header from 10 to 35 feet, whatever. Then after that, use an airbag instead of a fall mat. But anyway, this person, you know, came crashing down. Head went this way, didn't tuck to over, and head went sideways. Knees came down because you're upside down, and the knees came down and shattered both of her eyes a little bit.
Oh.
Yeah, she was up for a while, but so yeah, you don't want to lie. If you can't do certain things, don't say you can.
Right.
But
No, that's
if you're
solid
good at
advice.
something, get good at something. You know, get good at it, and it'll show. You know.
Yeah. Brilliant,
Yeah.
brilliant.
That's
So
awesome.
we'll
This
drop
is-
whatever links, you know, they could probably catch you on your YouTube channel and ask you some questions there for follow-ups. But
Sure.
this has been so interesting. Thank you for bringing him, Kim. Thank you for coming, Todd. This is so great.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, absolutely awesome. I hope everybody likes and subscribes on our YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell and
See you next
you.
episode. Thanks, Todd.
TG Moto Rider.
You got it.